Hello, everyone. This is a special week for me because it's the first time I'm going to do a long extended fast. I started this morning at 8 o'clock and I am not ending until Thursday at 8 o'clock. So it'll be 3 days of fasting. It's my first time, so it's my first experience with this. So I don't know how the next couple days will turn out. I have anecdotes from other people who have done it before, and I kind of know what to expect. They say that the first day is always the hardest because it's your body yelling out, I need food. But after the second and third day, it's a lot easier because your body's I don't know, understanding or settled with the I don't have food right now. So I don't know. The this first day, I kind of that sentiment has been true. I unfortunately did not cook my pork loin early enough, and if I waited another day or two, it would have gotten bad. So, of course, I had to cook it today, and cooking them while trying to fast was one of the second hardest thing I've ever just the pure resistance of just not wanting not mowing down was intense. Let's say that. But it was a fun time. It was a fun time. But today I want to try to go. I'm doing this for the edit. So today I wanted to talk about a little something that a sentiment or an idea that I think is true. And it's the statement that to live is to desire. That's a little weird because we always think of desire as something being conscious, right? That we do with our self awareness. I desire a cupcake because I am hungry. I desire a F4 F350 because I want to look cool or I want to toast stuff, right? We always associate it with consciousness, but I want to go further and say that just to live, to be, to exist is to desire life. And I want to do a couple examples. So the first example is probably the easiest example, and that is animals. So their sole purpose is just to survive. And in that surviving is their inherent desire to want to live, right? Any animal that doesn't want or desire to live isn't really an animal. They just want to die. And no animal willingly wants to die. Besides, um, ones that go into suicide, right? And even that is a refutation of that desire to live. They no longer want to live, so they die. That is not living, right? So, in that sense, the normal, natural state of being for an animal is to live and to desire to live. So that's why they're one and the same in that aspect. Now I want to go into more obscure territory. I wanted to talk about your own body and its desire to live. We always think of our bodies as us, as one ego, right? But I want to think about it in a different sense. I want to think about it in the Eastern philosophy sense, in that we are servants to our body as well. So, for example, our heart To understand this kind of idea, ask yourself, are you beating your heart? I hope you say no. If you say yes, what kind of drug you on? I want to get on that. But that's the thing. It's not us or our ego or our self that is beating the heart. The heart is beating itself. So it's kind of like an animal in that sense. It has its own almost reason and to live, right? It's the purpose of a heart is to pump blood in this human organism. But why do they pump blood for this human organism? Well, it's to keep it alive, right? To keep this organism alive. And what is that? To live. To live. And if it did not desire, and that goes into desire, right? The heart itself wants to live. If it didn't want to live, it wouldn't pump the blood. It wouldn't keep the organism alive. And essentially, it just stopped. But since it wants to keep going in this life, to continue to exist, it has an inherent desire to continue in this world, in this life. And thus, it wants to live. Its purpose is to live. It is to pump blood into you and keep going. Same with the lungs, right? We can consciously breathe, but a lot of times our lungs not unconsciously, sorry, our lungs breathe it themselves. So what's the purpose of lungs? To breathe. What is the purpose to breathe? To live. And why does it do it in the first place? It's like, what's the point? Well, it wants to live. It does not the lungs itself, but it wants the body to continue and to live. Same thing with plants, right? We don't think of plants as having consciousnesses or anything like that, but they still have a desire to live. They still want to live, not as a consciousness, but as its primary purpose in life is to grow, to be able to survive, to live. And that inherently, like I said, is the desire to exist in this world. If they didn't have a desire to exist in this world or to live, then they would die. And if you ask me, no plant willingly kills itself. Its desire is not to die, it's to live. So, in that sense, to live is to desire to live. And that's what's interesting is that in every other aspect of, we'll just say, beings that can move in our environment on their own, the animals, plants, it's this desire to live. Yet, us ourselves, our self-conscious, our self-awareness has that ability to say, no, I don't want to live anymore. But another reason why I think the body has the desire to live is when the self-conscious person, so me for example, let's just use me for example, or Mark, a person named Mark. Let's say Mark wants to kill himself. God forbid. Sorry, Mark. So he tries to jump off a bridge. Well, he's on the bridge. He's on the ledge. What does his body do? His heart starts beating really quickly. It's almost like it's saying, stop. don't do this. What are you doing? I just want to live and keep going, but you're gonna screw this all up. What does his breath do? It gets really heavy. It gets really fast. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do this. It's your lungs saying, "Hey, what are you doing? Like, I want to live. I want to keep breathing. I want to keep all this breath coming in. I want to use it. Hey, why are you gonna do this? Oh my God!" It's screaming. And then your whole nervous system it starts shaking, and it's telling you, "Oh my God!" All the neurons in your brain are freaking out because they're saying, "Hey, oh my God! My sole purpose is just to live. It's the desire to live, and all I want to do is live." And yet, this self-awareness, weird ego thing, is trying to tell me that we're not gonna live anymore. And if you jump off this bridge, or we're gonna kill ourselves, and the neurons, the heart, the breath, or the lungs, we're all gonna die. And we don't want that. So what are you doing? So it's weird that our self-conscious can override that and just say, no, heart, lungs, nervous system, and pretty much everything else in your body. No, I'm self-aware of my death. I know I'm gonna die. And yet, Mark says, I want it to be now. And jumps. It's almost like this pressure, right? Your body is what's keeping you. Your self-consciousness, your self-awareness is pushing against the body, right? Right? It's also the brain. You're going against the brain, right? And it's this pressure that keeps us alive. And it's when this self-awareness, it's this ego finally triumphs and fights through the pressure that we say, "Fuck it, I'm dead. I'm gonna kill myself." That's why most suicides aren't planned. It's this pressure, right? No one knows they're gonna kill themselves until they break through, and within 5 minutes they say, or, or, because they finally broke through the body's desire to live, which is horribly sad, terribly sad. And I think if people start to realize this, start to realize that even their own bodies are wanting them to live, to go through the suffering that they are facing, and to continue onwards. Maybe that'll be a little bit more consolidation than just knowing that your family and friends want you to live. Maybe it'll help knowing that yourself is also rooting for you to keep going, to have a reason to live. Dang, that was pretty good, wasn't it? That was pretty good. For a fast as well. It's my first time doing the fast, a vlog on the fast, and I think I did pretty good. So, yeah, I will be talking to more tomorrow. I'm also going to be sleeping in a hammock because it's a good like 60 degrees outside, and I'm doing my what's it called? Worst case scenario conditioning, at least for 3 days. So fasting, uh, sleeping in a hammock. I thought my mom was going to come in. I was going to look at her really weird, but do my worst case scenario. So sleeping outside, uh, fasting, wearing just gray shirts and jeans, and then also drinking all the water, black coffee, and tea. So at least that's for the first that's going to be for these 3 days. I'm just going to do these 3 days, and then Thursday, I hit it back up. And then every quarter, it's something I want to do. And next quarter, if this fasting goes well and nothing goes wrong with my heart or any other organs, then I'm going to extend it to 5 days. And I think I'll keep it just at that 5 days. Because it's just enough to get uncomfortable. So, other than that, I'll have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow.